Welcome once again to your update from the city of New Hope. Let's chat with the mayor to find out what's new and what is coming up. We are recording on October 13th. Mayor, welcome. How are you today?
Fantastic, Dave. How are you?
I am very good. We've got a lot
Good.
to touch on of things coming up in the city. There is a council meeting that is coming up this evening, the 13th, so you can go to the city's website to find out more about that. We do want to talk a little bit about West Metro Fire Rescue District, and this was something that the city manager recently went to a meeting, and I understand meetings between the manager, mayor, different groups happens on a regular basis. Give us a little background on that structure that is set up for that great fire department.
You bet. Thank you, Dave. Well, when the two cities decided to merge fire departments, they came up with a agreement where each city would have two members on a board of directors. Along with those two members, it would one would be a resident citizen, and one could be a council member. Then each city has their city manager on the board, and they have the one additional member, making it seven, for voting purposes, and that is and has been a gentleman by the name of Gary Laurent. Gary doesn't reside in either city.
Right?
Gary resides in Robbinsdale,
Mhm.
and this is really to help for voting purposes. If the two cities can't see eye to eye on something, and they vote along their city lines, you have the seventh member who actually casts the deciding vote. Now, that said, that seldom has happened.
Mhm.
There is such a strong working relationship between the two cities. I was honored to sit on that board for 12 years, and it works well. And the interesting thing is that the West Metro Fire Department is not a city department. And so the interesting part to that is that whereas they work incredibly closely with each of the cities, they meet with the city manager from each city regularly. They meet with the mayors on a regular basis. They are not a city department, so they are solely run and operated under the direction of this board of directors. And we went through some hard times several years ago where they looked at disbanding the department, and we were able to get that brought back around, and it's worked very, very well ever since. So that's really the makeup and run of the department.
So my guess would be for government wonks like me, it is a joint powers agreement. Would that be correct of how it
100%.
is structured?
100%. That's exactly what it is.
Very good. All right. So some great operation there. And again, a lot of update meetings that happen. And we tell you about quite a few of those here. Let's
Yep.
move on to community development. There was a planning commission meeting on October 7th, about a week ago. And they've been discussing the issue that we've been discussing for quite some time. And it looks like there's still more discussion to happen. Bring us up to date on that.
There's no shortage of discussion on something that's new. And the Planning Commission recommended approval of a text amendment, which addresses cannabis business regulations throughout the city. The state of Minnesota has largely tied the hands of municipal governments in making rules about cannabis sales. They set the licenses, they issue the licenses. So it's really, this is important for us to have this text amendment, which will allow us to be able to address the things that we can address. And the proposed amendment that they talked over outlines the zoning districts for medical and retail combination license holders, which we have one of, and that's Rise, along with the lower potency hemp edible licenses. Um, and it really covers what the rules will be for that stuff. And the important thing is that this was something that has taken a great deal of time for the Planning Commission. And those members have researched this, and the council will look over their research and their recommendations at our October 20th work session. So this is really a good display of the importance that the commissions play to the council and to the city, because they have dissected this, they have picked this apart, they have looked at all sort of angles. Just really grateful to our commissions for their work.
And my guess would be other cities in the very similar situation. So there's lots of planning commissions and council that are going through the same process. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Yeah. And this particular license, the combination medical retail, what the state determined was that every city would have to make a license available for every 14,000 people in population or portion thereof.
Mhm.
We're just over 20,000 people, so we have to have two licenses for retail. Now, enter Rise. Rise has held a medical cannabis license for a couple of years. And because they don't meet our zoning requirements in the city, the state has come up with, and this has happened in a number of other places,
Right.
the state has come up with a new license category called medical retail cannabis. And we can't hold them to zoning restrictions. And if they had a medical license before, they automatically get a recreational use license. And to top it off, that doesn't count towards the two we have to make available.
Mhm.
And so, really, really interesting um, to see how the state is navigating this. It may be different than what a city council would allow. So,
More to come on that as it works through that work session process. Also in community development, single family conversions to rental, a number we try to keep residents up to date on. What is the latest activity there?
yeah, in September, there were four single-family homes that converted from owner-occupied to rental. And so far in 2025, we've had 23 properties that have converted from owner-occupied to rental. And that's a number that we watch very, very closely. These people have to become licensed to do so. Their properties have to be inspected. Um, and we keep an eye on that because we don't want to see the quality of life for other communities impact or for that community impacted at
Mhm.
all.
Mhm.
We've also had 9 properties that have gone from rental back to owner occupied in 2025. So we're gonna see where this leads, but we are keeping our fingers on the pulse of that.
Also, city keeping a finger on the pulse of the scattered site housing program, and we've got a couple properties and homes that are in the closing section right now. Give us an update on property on Flag and Sumter.
Yeah, we have a property on the 4600 block of Flag that has is in the process of being purchased by the city, and that's scheduling. The closing is scheduled for October 16th. We have a home on the 5400 block of Sumter that is also set to close on the same day.
Mhm.
So once those properties are acquired, a development update will be mailed out to the neighbors and posted on the city's website. Both of these are going to be demolition and rebuild projects, and so we are really committed to making sure that we are keeping certainly neighbors, but obviously anyone that goes to our website appraised of what we're doing. Um, if it were my neighborhood, I'd want to know. So it's important to keep people in the loop on this stuff.
Now in community development, to businesses we go. One business update to pass along here, and this is good for the season because they're getting ready to shovel some snow, it sounds like. What's the new business?
That Seems like the snow just left. We have a business coming into the 7100 block of Medicine Lake Road, and that's Dow Lawn and Snow. And they do lawn, snow, and landscaping services. So we're happy to have another business into a vacant building that we have here in New Hope.
One other business note to pass along related to permits and inspections, and that's the Hy-Vee store. They're doing something similar now in New Hope that they've done at many other stores.
Yeah, they are have pulled a permit for the installation of 10 electric vehicle charging stations that will be placed in the parking lot along Xylon Avenue. You see it at almost every Hy-Vee location around the metro, and so this is really nothing different than you're going to see from other Hy-Vees.
Let's jump to the police department now. A few items here. First, police-related incidents. What was the count here in the past week?
Yep, from October 2nd to the 8th, we had 448 police-related incidents. Um, Little bit higher than average for the same week previous years. But again, weather plays into it. It really does, and people are out and about more, and so that's certainly nothing that we are concerned about at all. Our officers are still have good response times on calls. Still heavily engaged in the community engagement aspect of the job, and they are doing great work.
And here's one of those incidents responded to in a life-saving incident here. And this has a unique connection, Mayor, related to the police department and the department's social worker. Tell us how this all came together.
This is this is a great example of work done right. Officers Smith and Kidd were asked to go do a routine welfare check that was initiated by the department's social worker, the New Hope Police Department social worker. Upon arrival, they located an adult male in the home in really bad condition. Officers made the necessary decision to place him on a health and welfare hold at the hospital, ensuring that he would receive immediate medical care despite his initial refusal for help. The officers spoke with him, realized that his needs were very serious and great, and he didn't want any help. While officers can place somebody on a health and welfare hold, which basically means they get transported to the hospital. The hospital can evaluate and release, do what they need, or they can hold up to 72 hours. And the hospital saw the dire need for medical services for this individual, and they held on to him and got him the help that he needed, which he was then accepting of. The next day, hospital staff reached out to the social worker, Tom, and said that the officer's actions very likely saved that man's life. Because of his physical condition, he likely wouldn't have survived another 24 hours without medical help. This highlights the compassion and professionalism and sound judgment that these officers used. From my position as a mayor and our entire council, we thank Officer Smith and Kidd and our embedded social worker, Tom Ford, for the dedication and taking the bold moves for serving and protecting every member of our community.
Really shows some of the quick decisions that they have to make when they're out in the community.
And they're not easy decisions to go
Right.
to somebody's home and say, you know what, I'm sorry, but you have to go. You don't, and those don't happen often. Police aren't doing this, but only in the most serious of cases,
Right.
and they understand home is a castle, and all of that plays into it.
Let's move ahead to Public Works now. A few things related to water that we want to talk about. First is water testing, something that happens on a regular basis. What was the recent result?
Yeah, the Minnesota Department of Health mandates that quarterly we test water through their system, through their lab. and it's that's done under the Safe Water Drinking Water Act, excuse me, for water quality compliance. We sent all of our samples in. They get it from all sorts of different residences and businesses in the
Mhm.
city, and we're confident that things are going to come back good with that.
All right, under the ground, we go to the sewer lines within the city and a few things happening here. Give us the list of things that are be done to make sure that infrastructure is solid.
And again, this falls under the heading of Public Works does so many things we don't even know about. And we televise, we go down and scope the sanitary sewer lines to make sure that there aren't issues, that there's not buildups, and checking for for structural integrity. And where needed, they either make repairs or like what they did this last week, they flushed and cleaned the sewer lines that were needed to be maintained um, just for performance levels. And so I just, again, great work by our public works team.
And also with those sewer lines, the lining continues. We've been talking about this in recent weeks. What is the latest update on the sewer lining? How is that paying off?
Well, it's huge, but it's slow,
Yeah.
and it's unfortunate how long this takes. We have about 86 miles of sewer line in the city, and we have found for many years that the ductile clay pipes that were used crack, they leak, roots get into them. And so we have a problem with inflow and infiltration of other water, groundwater getting into the sewer system. So what happens is we line these with a coating that becomes hard, but yet still pliable. And as these pipes can move, this lining helps protect the structural integrity of these pipes. And so they are working on relining a section of the sewer pipes right now, and it's going really well. And we're finding that these lined pipes are lasting and restoring the integrity of these pipes for many, many years. So when we get finished, we'll probably have to start all over again, but it's a whole lot cheaper than digging up every inch of those 86 miles worth of pipe and replacing it.
Let's hop to Park and Rec, and we're going to start with some fun pictures here that shows you just how many people showed up for a fun event that recently happened around the City Hall area and around the park. What was going on, Mayor?
Well, it was huge. It was the annual Halloween Trick or Trot event, again held at City Hall or in Civic Center Park. Um, it was a really warm, windy day, but it was a huge success. We had over 250 participants sign up for a fun afternoon of carnival games, face painting, pumpkin decorating, costume contests, trick or treat stations, and it was topped off with an evening showing of the movies Monster Inc.
Mhm.
So it's a just another great example of our Parks and Recs getting fun programs out to the community.
Yeah, great time had by all. Speaking of having
Yes.
a great time, a lot of people doing that at the golf course as they enjoy this warm October time frame. And it looks like at the golf course, all of the league's tournaments are done. So it's a
Yeah.
perfect time to be an open golfer, right?
Absolutely. People can still get onto the course. It's still open. The course looks great. Staff is continuing to water the sod restoration along the cart paths where we put uh, asphalt cart paths in,
Mhm.
and they're continuing to mow the turf. Um, and so we will be still renting out the clubhouse
Right.
over the winter. And again, things are that just great work by the staff on that.
And that building books up quickly around the holidays. So don't delay. Get your
No,
reservation in now if you're interested in that. A few other
Yes.
notes to pass along. You've probably seen this information on the city's website and also through Facebook and other social media. Domestic Violence Awareness Month is the month of October, and some information out, Mayor, on the city's website. Again, why is this so important for the city?
The City of New Hope Police Department uses a service for domestic abuse survivors and people going through domestic abuse, and that's the the Home Free Inc.
Mhm.
And we utilize their services, and the month of October really highlights the true issue domestic abuse is in our nation. We're, of course, focused in on New Hope in the metro area, and we wanna pay the proper respect during this month, of course, year around. But this is Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
And if you'd like to, again, read more information on the city's website, newhopemn.gov. You can also find information there about a big event coming up near the end of October. That is City Day, and also a little more Halloween fun. Tell us about the combo event on the 23rd.
I love this day. This is a great day. And Thursday, October 23rd, from 5 to 7 p.m. At the New Hope City Hall. This event is what we call City Day. And the City Hall will be open, and there will be food trucks present, display from the police, fire department, and public works. Those vehicles will be out in the lot for people to go out and look at and probably not play in, but certainly take
Right?
a tour of. Inside City Hall, residents can visit with departmental tables to learn more about city services and, of course, to meet elected city officials
Mhm.
and city staff. If people have questions for any of the departments, there will be people there manning tables to answer those questions and to get people more information. That is such a great day to connect with residents. And it's outside of normal business hours, so it really makes it a lot more user friendly, if you will. Then, during that time, the New Hope Human Rights Commission is going to be hosting an art exhibit showcasing artwork created by local kindergartners.
Mhm.
And that is always a ball. That is so much fun to see the work that the kids do. And then from 7 to 8 p.m., the New Hope Police Department will be hosting Trunk or Treat in the parking lot, providing more Halloween fun themed activities to conclude the evening. And if I'm a gambling person, I'm going to guess there's going to be candy involved.
Yes, I would think so. And rumor has it maybe candy inside City Hall during some of the City Day activities, and fun for the kids too. And they can come in their costume, enjoy some of the inside activities, and then head outside to go and get some candy. Well, Mayor,
Absolutely.
yeah, thanks so much for the information this week, and we'll look to see you at City Day, I'm sure. Here is some other information about events coming up in the city. Mayor, have a great week. We'll talk to you again next week.
Thank you, Dave. You too, sir.
For more city stories, check out ccxmedia.org or find us on social media.